So I'd just like to look at ANJ, BAL, UMA and Comp. Now I did make this video probably about an hour ago, and it lost, it didn't say, I don't know what happened, it didn't save. It was a 10-minute video. Hopefully I get this one out a bit quicker. But you can see up here, this wick here is very important, I think, because it's the large volume wick right down here that started this downtrend and started the top in this market, which is you can see on the way down. Let's go here. A high, lower high, lower highs, lower high here, another lower high here, a lower high in the inside of that, a lower high here, a lower high here, and this was the start. This was a higher high here, and then obviously another higher high, and this one formed a higher low than here. That was essentially the start of the uptrend. Once this held, because this was already a higher high, that put a higher high and a lower high in place, and then we were allowed to move to the upside. So just understanding the simple structure of the market, that kind of helped, and it was a bullish stop hunt of this one as well. So just by reading market structure there, you know, as soon as this got back above this white line, it was technically bullish, and that's the result of it. But I'm just saying, I think this is a very important point on the chart soon. And you talked about a great point you talked about there. It is now 700 million. It's gone up 10x, and yes, hopefully all of these other ones will do that. I think they will do that in time. Let's look at a couple of them. Yeah, so UMA here, so it's kind of a bit like UMA. UMA's got an identical formation in a way, not an entire formation, but in the fact that we had this volume point as well. You know, it's this, when this runs as well, you can expect to target this area just like ANJ did. Now again, we have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high here as well, lower high here, lower high here, lower high here, and you can see this is a higher high. But we have now come down and we are testing this area right here. This is the low, sorry, and we retested. Now this was a lower high. You can see there we did stop hunt this. It's very, very microscopic down here, but it made a lower low, okay, a lower low. So we made a higher. It's not a macro. See, this is your macro high. This is a micro high, but technically, like, you have one here, you have one here. Technically, this is a higher high, right? In a micro environment, this is your macro environment, but this is a higher high at this point in time. So, like ANJ, if this rolls off here, you want to see a higher low. If it does come off, I don't know if it's going to come off yet. We need to look into that. But then, if it does hold, right? If UMA does hold, there's a possibility that we can test this high up here, right, from down here, just like ANJ did, okay, because it would be breaking out of market structure from a downtrend to an uptrend, and the volume is here, right, and this might be where it's going to target again. So that's just something to keep in mind. I have alerts set at the bottom there, but I want to just set some alerts down here. On UMA, somewhere down in here, and to try and if we do roll and BART back down from this, there may be a fantastic buying opportunity if we do come down. This could still be a buying opportunity right here in bull markets, right? This is technically a bull flag pattern. You know, in bull markets, these like to break up, okay? Bull flags like to break up in a bull market. Now in bear markets, sorry, I drew that wrong, just scrap that out. In bear markets, bull flags like to BART back down, okay, here. So is this still bearish? Are we going to BART back down, maybe form that higher low, and then make that run for it, right? That's something to consider if we do see some downside. But we want to see a higher low than here, because we've already created market structure breakout, at least on the micro time frame. And you need to do that on the micro time frame before you can do it on the macro time frame. So there is interesting developments here on this chart. This is a higher high, and just like ANJ, we've seen how that developed. Now let's look at BAL as well. Now interestingly enough, you can see here on BAL, look at the volume as well here. They've all had this volume here. And this is the selling volume. They were selling into this volume, right? They were whatever way they spiked that up. That was what's the word? There was a bit of absorption up here. Like the sellers absorbed them buyers, and that's when you started the market, and that's what caused the high volume. So you know, it's a fairly small candle here, right? It's not a huge candle, it's a narrow body, and it's the largest volume in history. So that is technically absorption. That will be a very important point going forward. Now this is in a 3-day apex here. Can this hold and get that break up and target this area? Well, time will tell. Now I I do like a potential of going to new lows at some point in some of these coins. I could be wrong on that. Like, you just never know how it's going to play out. Will the Fed start printing? If the Fed completely pivot or something like that, you just never know how that market's going to react. But if you do look here, this technically this candle right here it's a bit of a bearish candle breakdown, and you know, you don't always get it, but technically it's a bear candle, and I would like to see lower lows than that. I don't know if we're going to get it, but I would like it. The market doesn't care what I like. This is also the largest volume, as you can see here. A pierce below that largest volume is probably going to be a very, very good place to be loading up on BAL if we get it. But you know, if you're buying down here and adding more down here, you know, you're really going to be buying in a you know, accumulated in a very, very good location on the chart. It is probably down 90 something. Well, that's 96, nearly 97% down to lows. But you know, you would have a 94, 95 average if you were kind of accumulating down there. 94 or 5% drop average, and that's a good level. Is it going to be perfect? Well, time will tell. Now, comp as well. I've kind of been waiting on comp, and I'm not sure if we're going to get it. Like, I've been waiting to accumulate. If we pierce below that line, this drop. Now, we don't always get that. You know, again, I personally would like to see it. Time will tell. A lot of times when I see this, like let's go to the monthly. A lot of times when I see this pivot here, this here, a lot of times we can see new lows and a spike on new lows before the real move. Now, again, the market doesn't really care what I think, but I see that a lot. I see it often when you create this base, and eventually you see those new lows. But again, comp is down 94, 95%. Let's look at that. It's still down hefty. It's a hefty drop. So if we just fine tune that, you can see we're still down 95%. We're still down. It was down 96. And it was actually down 97% of the lows, and we're still down 95%. So it is a good area, you know, to be accumulating in theory. You're 95% better than all of the rest of the market, and you know, you would be accumulating better than everybody except for these few people that accumulated down here, and obviously there's a couple of people on the spike as well. So it is a decent place to be starting to down cost average. Now, last thing, I want to finish this up here, but this is almost about to enter a 3-day apex. Now, entering a 3-day apex, the first attempt can fail. Now, is this the failure? Right? We've already got the first attempt at an apex. If this gets back inside here, that could be the second attempt at the apex, and we could run. Okay, this could be the first attempt, and the first attempt likes to fail, and we are dropping out of that. We did drop out of that. Now we're attempting to get back inside it. So it's very yeah, pardon me, it's very critical to see if we can get back up inside that, or is this going to fail here and come back down. So it's a very important level on the chart, and one to watch. If we start consolidating inside the white 100 moving average, it then would be time to probably be looking for longs, possibly on a new 2-week candle, for example.